please hit that like, sub to the channel if you are not a member, and also hit those notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. Um, I wanted to talk to y'all for just a minute, man. Now, this has to do with, well, first off, the first part that we need to talk about is Joker and the phenomenal game that he's just coming off of. All right, and I do realize that Joker, he had a monster game, historic game, 30 point, uh, 21 rebounds and 22 assists, and that was when he actually broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for most assists for a big man, for a center. Um, Now, even with them, breaking these records and stuff, I still got SGA as the runaway MVP. All right, um, just as well as Joker has been putting up numbers and triple doubles, things of that nature. And y'all know I like Jokic. Jokic is a machine. He's blue collar, does his job, doesn't say that much, and he's a winner. Um, but the the way that SGA has held things down, okay, without his big men being in the lineup for an extended period of time of the season, and on top of that, Harkison, as much as I like Harkison, he hasn't been he hasn't been there because he came back, then ended up getting injured again, and then of course with Chet Holmgren, he was out for a little bit, and SGA has been playing shorthanded, and he's still getting the job done, and on top of that, Oklahoma City is leading the West by a pretty significant margin, okay, and OKC is beating like really really good teams. I mean, they beat the best team in the NBA, who some people see as the best team in the NBA, in the Cavs in terms of the record wise. Now, true enough, they did take an L, but it wasn't by much, and even in that loss, SGA went down fighting. Okay, Joker, as much as I like Joker, he's got the crew there that he's been playing with for quite some time. He's got Jamal Murray, he got Aaron Gordon. He's got some ball on his team, and that's not to take anything away from OKC, because OKC has some talent as well, especially when you talk about Williams, Dort. I could go on and on. Chet, I just mentioned him, and Arkansas. Of course, you got Alex Caruso. You just got they have a bunch of guys, and on top of that, they have a good bench too. They got guys off the bench that are pretty productive and can get you buckets. You know what I'm saying? You got guys off the bench that could that could, they can explode for like 30 plus points. So, but I got SGA, man, winning this, man. He he's been phenomenal. He's been sensational. All that stuff. Um, you know, Jokic, man. I don't think he is getting held accountable to the extent that somebody like Giannis is getting held accountable. Okay. Um, we're talking about Giannis, who is a nine-time All-Star, uh, two-time MVP, two-time Defensive Player of the Year. I think eight-time All NBA. Uh, why is Giannis continuing to get all of the scrutiny, be held accountable? They keep saying, Giannis needs to do more, he needs to do more and everything. But meanwhile, he's got the same number of championships as Jokic. I want to know that. Like it's just crazy to me that people, they sit here and they pick and choose who they want to hold accountable, but when somebody is calling the stuff out on Jokic in terms of him seeming like he's winning it every single season. Like I said, he's been great and everything, but they'll say okay, well Giannis, let's say he wins another MVP or something like that, or he still got to get a championship, or Giannis needs more championship. No, Jokic has to be held. He's got to start being held to to that standard too. Particularly when I look at the fact that Denver is relatively healthy now. Only thing you could have said, like in the past, is that okay, Jokic didn't have Jamal Murray. Okay, Jamal Murray, he had stayed hurt and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there was really no excuse for Jokic, especially if they're continuing to uh, give him an MVP, and they're saying that he's playing at an MVP level. But I think that SGA is a runaway MVP because I'm looking at the record. I'm looking at OKC. I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm looking at the fact that OKC has a better record than the Nuggets, and they've been shorthanded. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm a little tired, man. Um, been on the road. Now, here's the thing: if Jokic wins another ring, okay, then we can start talking about other bigs, you know. But until he gets that second ring, we really we really can't be decorating the dude, like he's all world all the time and stuff because y'all throw other people under the bus because they may not have as many championships, they may not have as many MVPs and everything, but because this guy is got all this talent and stuff like that, then you're willing to go ahead and you're willing to put him as a like as an all time great. And I think it's unfair to the other guys. Like, to me, you're not you gotta win like two, three, you know, uh, four championships, man, in order for us to start, saying that you're one of the all time great centers. Now, without a doubt, is he climbing the charts yet? But he's gonna have to get that second ring because then you're talking about Kareem. You're talking about Hakeem. Hakeem has two rings. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you gotta talk about Shaq. Talk about Will. Talk about Russell. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Duncan. I know some people. He's a power forward and everything, but he did play center too. You know what I'm saying? Even with Robinson has two rings. I think people forget that David Robinson got two rings. Now, I know that some people don't look at David Robinson as one of the all-time great centers, but you have to put him up there because prior to that injury that David Robinson had suffered, we all know what damage David Robinson could have did. You know what I'm saying? So but like I said, it doesn't take anything away from Jokic. I think it's the media that a lot of that is media driven. Um, they're gonna do it anything that they can to perpetuate some sort of narrative that Jokic is breaking all these records, but somehow, some way, what I'm saying, they excuse the fact in terms of his championship. Look, SGA is that guy right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people see him as the best player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people, they're gonna say, Luca. Some people gonna say LeBron. You got some people saying, who else? You. I'm trying to think. There's some people that got Anthony Edwards up there. Um, you know, Giannis. It's a lot of people that they mention, but SGA right now is showing you why he should be mentioned up at the top. He's beating everybody, and especially if he gets it done in the playoffs this season, then we got to start. If SGA wins a ring and starts winning consistently, you got to start looking at SGA differently. You know what I'm saying? I think like they'll look at SGA as okay, this guy's gonna fall off pretty soon or something like that. I don't see that happening. His focus is much more different. I know a lot of people think that SGA is just okay. He's like a one hit wonder type of guy, gonna have a good season and stuff like that. But no, that's not SGA at all. I see SGA as one of these guys that actually he wants to win, man. You could see that SGA wants to win. He's a competitor. He ain't giving up. You know what I'm saying? He's staying with his craft, and he continuing to show guys why he is an MVP. And to tell you the truth, I don't even think that SGA really cares about the MVP as much as the other. I think he wants to win a ring. That's where his focus is. It's like if he wins the MVP, yeah, that's great and everything, but I think he wants a championship a lot more. It seems like I know that, and like I said, I might be from the outside looking in, but just from looking at Jokic, you would think that Jokic, just cares about MVPs and other accolades other than winning that actual championship. You know what I'm saying? So, but the whole goal is to get championships. That's the whole goal, and that's what SGA is playing more like. When whereas with Joker, just like okay, you got another MVP. Look, it's gotten to the point. So Jokic is getting MVP so much. It's like oh hey. Hooray! You got an MVP. It's like it's not a big deal. It's like we already knew that SGA was gonna get um, MVP or whatnot. I'm sorry, that Jokic was gonna get MVP. Lastly, man, let me talk about this for a second. I gotta talk about Kobe, man. Now, for a second, man. Now, earlier, and I'm gonna post this a little or repost this, man. Um, Kobe Bryant, man, had a mentality, man, where very few guys did. Like I was looking at a segment. It was a little short of Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about think about how much work you could get done, how much more work you could get done if you started earlier. If you started your workout earlier, and he was talking about how he would wake up at 3 a.m. Kobe's famous for his 3 4 a.m. workouts and stuff. You get up at 3 4 a.m. workout, hit the gym, uh, you know do whatever workout he's done doing, then go. He might get some rest or whatever. Then he'll go to the next workout, you maybe put some shots up, you know what I'm saying, do a little bit of running, then go ahead, relax, and then he'll go to another workout, and it might be, him hooping or whatever the case is, doing whatever work that he needed to do, and then after that, that his day's pretty much done. Now, of course, you take into account now if this was like the season or something like that, it would be a little bit different. But since it's an off season, he has more flexibility. That mentality, man, is why he was so great, man. And a lot of guys don't understand the 3 a day mentality. Doing 3 a days, you can put more work in there. That's why, like, when I look at certain guys, like for instance, like with Bronny James or whatever, he should be a guy that should be doing 3 a days on top of what the workouts that he's doing right now, just so that because he's putting in that work, and over time, it's gonna build and build and build. That's that should be a mentality that I think that everybody should have, anyways, just in life, period. Like, you know, doing something, being obsessed with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? He had an obsession with basketball. The great C.T. Fletcher, he's a bodybuilder, man, out of Compton. He said, in order for you to be great at something, you have to be obsessed with what you're doing. Like Michael Jordan, he was obsessed. I think Michael Jordan was obsessed. Um, he was possessed too. He was possessed with winning. Both of those guys were possessed with winning, and that's why I like Kobe's 3 a day mentality. You apply that to life, man. You'll be surprised how far you could go. But hey, I'm finna go ahead and roll out. Make sure y'all hit that like, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit the notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'll get at you later.